Hi Eddie, why are we here?
Well, we're here because we're supporting our friends here in Equity and also supporting our friends who are in dispute in America. They're facing similar problems to our members, low pay, inequity here. Their right to strike is not available to them because of the anti-trade union legislation. And of course, we're on the cusp of a digital revolution and people's jobs are under threat with the introduction of new technology. So there's nothing new under the sun. We're here to support them. We want to see them get a fair shake. And we really think it's important that all of the unions club together and start to put pressure on the policymakers to bring in strong regulations to protect people at work from the changes that are going to come about through introduction of AI.
You just had quite a rapturous applause there. Do you think that there's a sense that change is coming? Do you think the workers are on one team?
I think so. I mean, look, I'll say this a lot, but people are facing many of the same problems no matter what sort of part of the economy you're working in or what sector you work in. And coming out of the cost of living crisis, I think it's going to start dawning on people over the next few years just how drastic the changes we're all going to see in all aspects of work through the new digital revolution we're facing. And that's particularly felt here because of people's images being used and, you know, without their right and taken forever and all the rest of it. But we're going to see that everywhere. There's not going to be many jobs in the economy that are not affected by that. And at the moment, the only people that the government are consulting on what they're going to do around this type of stuff is industry, whose interests are, of course, make as much profit as they can out of it. So I think this is going to be a theme over the next few years and we're going to see more and more people coalescing around that.
Do you think there's a sense that maybe some of the select committees or groups in Parliament don't quite understand what's happening?
Well, I think that's true, and I think it's probably not an unfair position to be in because I don't think anyone really does understand the extent of the changes that we're likely to see and are likely to develop as we go along. But I do know, I've heard, they've got a very small department in Parliament looking at this and it's probably understaffed and no one in it, and there's one or two people speaking to industry to see how they can squeeze as much money out of it as possible. But I do think, there's not many people that really do understand just how drastic these changes are going to be, but we've got to start to get our heads around it because we need to protect people's livelihoods.
There does seem to be a chronic shortage of workers up and down the country. I mean, just this week we were talking about bringing in labourers back in on a special visa because there aren't enough to do construction. I mean, what did you make of that? Do you think it's fair to offer visas?
I think it's fair to offer visas. I don't mind that, but I think there's an awful lot of people here that are unemployed as well. One of the problems we've had in this country over many years is destruction of the systems people used to come through to get skilled. So there's not really much training available for people to get the skills needed in the economy. A lot of that was forgotten about during the years when we were in the free movement area in the European Union. A lot of countries just relied on labour moving around as a way to solve gaps in the labour market. When I think there should be a lot more of a focus on training, particularly when there's people coming out of school without qualifications, and there's a massive shortage of skills.
So better contracts, is that what you mean?
Yeah, better contracts, but better training and education for people. All of that's been underfunded and taken away over years. It should be much easier and quicker paths to get skills, and that would help out with people that are unemployed and need work.
Just ask you about the talks regarding London Underground and the strike that's now been called off. Can you talk to me about that?
Yeah, so we've had some progress made. We've not settled the dispute, but we've suspended the strike action. We appear to have some good protections for the time being around our pensions and around some of the changes they want to bring in. So that's given us a positive step forward. It will be a big thing for a lot of our members looking at salary protection and some of the stuff that's been, some of the guarantees we've achieved around pensions. So that's allowed us to suspend the strikes. People will be pleased to see that. But we're not out of dispute yet. We've still got a way to go.
Yeah. But you're relieved?
Yeah, I think I'm relieved and so are our members, yeah.